Hey, what's going on, guys? Mike Glover here. Prepared, a manual for surviving worst case scenarios. Now, I wrote this book and I talk specifically about survival kits in this. Really cool. In survival kits, I talk about some of the things I'm going to talk about with the issued kits that I received and also this kit from Vietnam. Now, part of this I'm putting on my Patreon, which is linked down below. And then I'm also putting this, which you're watching this on YouTube. And part 2 of it is going to be me surviving 48 hours with the Vietnam 1967 issued survival kit. But first, let's get into this first kit. I'm going to go over this real quick. This is a kit I was issued when I was a member of U.S. Army Special Operations Command. And I actually made a product that replicated this kit for Fieldcraft almost 10 years ago. Actually 10 years ago. I'm going to go through it real fast. I haven't opened this up in a long time, but this is something that some would not see as survival, but it is survival. It's in a genre of survival that's tied into escape and evasion and resistance. Remember, we go in special operations to SEER C. The high-risk C version of it is for aviators and special operators that are typically behind enemy lines and are taught how to resist, evade, escape, all that good stuff. So it's not just about like this primitive, primal, making a fire in the middle of the woods kind of deal. It's a lot of tactics and equipment. Okay, so this is a flag patch that would be worn on my right shoulder, stars forward, and it has an insert where I can conceal these pieces of equipment. I'm going to quickly go through this. I haven't seen this thing really since 2007, I think. It's been a long time. We got a razor blade scraper tool, handcuff key, really cool. Never been used. Survival jokes. Ferro rod, obviously starting a fire. I don't know if this is just trash. This might just be trash or something was in this. Oh yeah, I think something was in that. Magnet with string with wire. I mean, the wire is magnetized, but wire for cutting, recovering. Different types of keys. Bobby pin is really well known as something that could be modified to rake the tumblers in a key. Part of the training that we go through, some of us go through, is surreptitious entry, lock picking, learning how to hotwire cars, just in case you have to escape or evade. A saw blade, cutting wood for tinder bundles. Little Vaseline and cotton. It's petroleum based, not necessarily Vaseline with cotton. Remember, the ferro rod is how you're going to spark the flame that's retained here for a little bit so you could ignite the bundle, the tinder bundle, to start a good fire. Essential, obviously, in survival. And then another key, a thin key. Awesome. Really cool kit. You don't see a lot of that in the military. One of the things I talked about on my Patreon is the fact that survival kits are real gimmicky nowadays. Most of them are made in China. And honestly, most of them are garbage. But this one is really cool. Really cool. All right, well, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, which is a 1967 issued survival kit. I bought this on eBay for a couple $100, and I plan to do content on this, including this video, but also I plan to use this in a survival scenario for 48 hours. Now, my take on survival equipment is a little bit different than many. Depending on what environment you're in, it's really going to dictate the type of kit you're going to use. Now, there are basic principles like this ferro rod, for example, starting a fire. In any scenario, really, starting a fire is going to be beneficial for signal, for keeping your core body temperature warm, for morale. It's important. But when you look at survival kits as a whole, especially commercial, REI bought, online bought survival kits, it's a lot of junk because part of the core of a survival kit is going to be the necessities, water procurement, water purification, starting a fire, and then the rest is going to be environmental or situational based. So I don't know what's in this kit. I have not opened it up and I'm going to do it for you guys, but I'm super excited to go through it. But it was issued in 1967 for soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen that were going to Vietnam. Now, the form factor of this is relatively the same as more robust survival kits that I was issued in the military, even in special operations. Now, I only carried those kits on me if I was doing a rural or urban hide or sniper/reconnaissance operation where I was behind enemy lines, limited support, and then I had to evade for a 72-hour scenario. Why 72 hours? Well, the rules of 3 you can't go without water for 3 days. So if you don't have water, worst case, you're moving out on foot, you're evading, you could survive on foot for at least 3 days. And also when we plan our operations, we're looking at that magic time window because we're not going to do anything beyond that because it's getting beyond our ability to self-sustain, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so sheet. Ooh, pretty fragile. This reminds me of my favorite YouTube channel, Wristwatch Revival, where he does this. POV perspective fixing watches. Survival kit individual. Wow. So a list of all the stuff. Pretty cool. All right. Oxytetracycline. English. So on here, it's for infections. Take 2 tablets initially, followed by 1 tablet every 6 hours. For oxytetracycline. I assume it's like an antibiotic. That's probably no good. It's okay. Set it aside. What else we got? This is 11 APC tablets. What's an APC tablet? Have no idea. What is this for? So I just looked it up, and it's anti-inflammatory and fever-reducing medication. Pain relievers. Never been used. All right, so here's something that's pretty different about survival kits that they have done here is they've included first aid in the survival kit, which I think is imperative. A survival kit's not survival because likely it's the worst case scenario if you don't have first aid. So sterile gauze, compressed gauze, awesome. Wow. So in my 48-hour survival challenge, I'm probably going to crush this and I'll probably get sick. This is a sweet chocolate ration bar. Really cool. Made by Hershey. I wonder if that's good. Interesting. Good for morale. And what is this? This is a can opener. Most of you probably have never seen a can opener before because we don't really do that anymore. But yeah, this is a can opener. Most of the rations in Vietnam were T-rats and they had cans. A lot of them had pouches, but some of them had cans. Awesome. Oh, I was wondering if this was going to be part of it. Matches. Store in plastic bag when not in use. Really cool. That's going to come in handy on my 48-hour challenge, especially because it's wintertime. Not much fire making required in Vietnam, but this is, what is this? Bacitration, antibiotic ointment. Okay, so an emphasis on infection because there was a lot of obviously risk in the triple canopy of Vietnam for secondary infections. July 1969. And Vietnam went to 75. What is this? Well, I'm not going to open this yet until my 48-hour challenge, but this is something. It feels like it's a bobby pin. You can see the bobby pin here. A razor and a bobby pin, I believe. I think it's a razor because I believe that's rust, which would make sense, and there's the bobby pin. Band-aids, again, an emphasis on first aid. Really cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe for each extremity. Fish hooks and line. Okay, so there is a lot of water in Vietnam. Most of them are patties, rice patties. I don't know how good this would do you, but if you had access to a body of water, like you're on the coast or something, this might be something good to have for survival, especially long-term survival. Now, again, when I talked about like, hey, some things are just gimmicky, this wouldn't be necessarily a gimmick. Now, this in a normal kit, when you're in the middle of, I don't know, Montana in a survival circumstance where there's not a body of water around, probably not the best thing to have. But in Vietnam, certainly they lined that out. Oh, I believe this is tape of some kind. Yeah, it's a soaked tissues wrapped. I think that's what this is. I assume that's what that is. Either that or it's tape. We'll find out during that challenge. This is the actual foil. This is not like aluminum foil, like normal foil. This is really thick foil. Aluminum foil via this. Directions: fold to make container for heating fluids and cooking. Really cool. But this, you could make a robust setup, obviously. So it allows you to make a container to boil water and to cook. Not a bad idea. It beats carrying a pan, obviously. Really cool. Chloroquine and primaquine phosphate tablets. Now, chloroquine and primaquine says take 1 tablet per week, swallow, do not chew. There was obviously a lot of viral stuff going on in the country. This specifically was for the prevention of malaria. Methaquine is what we use in the military now, and we used to call it Methaquine Mondays because you would always have crazy dreams on methaquine. Probably not good. and probably won't do me any benefits on a 48-hour challenge. But again, pertinent to Vietnam and their experience. Let me see. Let me go through this real quick. Oh, that's what that is. It's an adhesive plaster. We got the matches, the gauze. No bouillon cubes. We got robbed. All the medication, sweet chocolate, sulfate tablets, APC, bacitration, bandage, aluminum foil. I don't think we have the soaped tissues wrapped. We got the sewing kit with the fish hooks in line. Really cool, guys. Wow. Well, that was awesome. So one of the things I'm doing is going through a lot of different survival kits. I have a collection of survival kits, which I'll be going through. If you appreciate this content, you think it's cool, you think I should do more of it, let me know. And let me know what you think about the survival segment of this when I'm surviving naked and afraid in the woods for 48 hours on this particular kit. A piece of history, but going to help me with the research and development for my new survival kit in 2026. What would you add to your personal survival kit? Leave it in the comments on Patreon or on YouTube. Till next time, peace.